Hi, my name is Stacey Lane, and I'm here for a final presentation and to discuss with you my paper around power of communication in addiction recovery. I will tell you I'm very excited because I got 100 on my paper. So I will share with you the highlights and the things that were requested. Well, one of the things that we need to know is that many alcoholics in recovery relapse despite the fact that it could cost a career, relationship, freedom, and even their life. It's a strong, powerful disease, and it affects a lot of people. It's rampant. So what I do in this paper is I address how AA continues to support addicts through its communication and spiritual components, attempts to medicalize addiction treatment without using the tools of relational communication, do abandon the positive attributes inherent in the model more dependent on communication. So that's what this paper is about. And the definition of alcoholism or alcohol dependence has changed over time. Older formulations, such as those employed by AA, depict alcoholism as the failure of individual character, and therefore solutions involved meetings and one-on-one communication. Group disclosure, according to AA in 2015. But more recently, the American Society of Addictive Medicine has defined alcoholism as a primary chronic disease with genetic, psychosocial, and environmental factors influencing its development and manifestations. So that's according to 2019, the American Society of Addictive Medicine. So what this does, this new definition characterizes it as something that can be treated like a virus, hence medications. So, which may not be all bad, but in order to fully grasp the power of communication within the AA structure, what I have done here is expose how an AA meeting takes place. Most 12-step meetings are conducted in the following way. People come in, newcomers, meetings last in churches or like a social setting for around an hour. And, most people are very friendly and help people out. There's formulas, there's an order to the meeting, and, people will read a preamble, the 12 steps of AA, and the 12 traditions, which is also talked about in the paper. So what happens is that this project will bring to light the importance of relational communication while implementing the spiritual principles of recovery. So by observing the AA meetings, this researcher will document the power of narrative that supports recovery. And the project further identifies the power of interpersonal communication and the value of treating addiction with spiritual principles. The literature review here outlines some of the key shifts in narrative over alcoholism and why the medicalization of alcoholism may have some promise, however, neglects the social and communication needs of addicts during the recovery process. So this is something that, alcoholism remains a significant problem in America and globally, and millions of people in the United States continue to abuse alcohol, even under a changing definition of what it entails. So it's a scary, powerful disease, and what this paper demonstrates is that it's important that people are talking and sharing and able to relate with stories, despite any kind of recovery process that they have. It's in kind of an ongoing process. So in 2013, the American Psychiatric Association used its 5th edition of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, the DSM-5, and they dropped the use of some of these umbrella terms that have been around for a long time, substance abuse and substance dependence, and replaced them with 6 substance use disorders. So one of the things is that I, would like to do is take a look at a couple of things, and my hypotheses around this is relational communication, often found with institutions such as AA, plays an important role in keeping addicts sober. So, some of the things to consider are: do alcoholics that seek treatment benefit from communication-based strategies? If so, how does it work? What components of the communication are most helpful to achieve sobriety? And under what circumstances does treatment that includes both a medicalized approach and relational communication improve outcomes beyond using one approach or the other? So in my methods, it would be an ethnographic project with naturalistic observation. And this project uses a non-experimental descriptive method in which an observer watches and documents some behavior of phenomenon. In a real-life situation over a period of time called naturalistic observation, along the lines of Angrosino in 2016. Some of the things that this research project will take seriously the lives of addicts and their reported successes and failures using the relational communication model within the context of AA. So some of the questions that I would be asking is: what prompted you to go to AA? In what ways did it help? What were the challenges? Have you relapsed? And what do you believe the cause was? What do you believe to be most helpful at the meetings? In what ways were these things helpful to you? How has communication aided in your recovery? And how does communication help support you now? Ethical issues are of concern and are a serious concern in this type of project. Those who attend AA meetings assume anonymity, and so therefore may be a little reluctant to be part of the study. So I am personally committed to maintaining the anonymity of the subjects, and therefore will protect names, cities, and any other identifying factors. Beyond the protection of individuals, I believe that the spiritual principles of the program are, committed to holding participants in the utmost respect and care. So I would also be getting any kind of, for any one-on-one communication, consent for the participants. They would also all be over 18. The most significant limitation to the study is that of short-term nature. The study takes a snapshot of individuals' experience, but it's not a long-term study that would capture their experience long-term. So obviously can't predict future behavior or experience of the participants. So today, addiction does impact millions of Americans and costs over $700 billion a year. Alcohol is a cause of death, preventable mortality. The recent developments in medicalization bring us a step closer to understanding a fuller picture of the condition, and the latest science, genetics, and study of the brain continue to deliver solutions. Although these are contributions are helpful, relational communication and spiritual principles are important aspects of the treatment. So the purpose of this paper is to document the ongoing importance of communication and transmission of a spiritual approach in the recovery process for some people. Alcoholism is a societal issue and a very huge problem, causes a lot of injuries, accidents, and problems in everyday life. So it's really hard to detect and important to realize that it is a real disease, and recognizing the importance of relational communication for addiction is imperative for recovery. So I hope that you will read further into the paper, and that's all I have for now. So thank you so much for watching my video, and I'm glad we got it got it taken care of. All right, so now I just have to end this end stream.